Well, hello everyone, and this is a bit of an opportunity. Gav's down here doing some legal corner shooting for some upcoming episodes, and I thought I'd just ask him a quick question with what's gone on with Superbike Factory, because if any of you guys are in a situation where you've handed your bike in at Part X, or you're buying a bike from there, you don't know what's going on. By the way, if you don't know, Superbike Factory sadly has gone into administration, which is the largest, I think, motorcycle, inverted commas, dealership in Europe, apparently, according to numbers. So there's potentially a lot of people who might be a little bit worried. So Gav, do your best to make them feel better.
So this is only really relevant to you if you've got your bike there, or if you've purchased a bike, you haven't got it, and they've gone into administration. Okay.
So if you've got your bike, you're happy with it, your finance is continuing.
No problem. Carry on like normal. The fact the dealer's gone bust, irrelevant.
Enjoy your riding life.
Yes. And this fantastic weather we've got.
Yeah.
If, however, you're one of the unlucky few and you've purchased a bike, not taken delivery of the bike, but they've got some money of yours, or you've got a financing agreement in place, there are two avenues for you to explore, okay? The first avenue, contact the finance house, okay?
Okay.
Under the consumer laws that we have, Section 75 claim means that the finance house has the same obligations as Superbike Factory. So the fact that Superbike Factory is in administration is irrelevant. You can almost bring the claim against the finance house and go, I can bring it against you. You now need to deal with this. You might find that they end up refunding you or ending the finance agreement.
Okay. So just to quickly check there. So I just got a little bit confused. So if your finance agreement is already in place and you've got your bike, that's fine.
Then fine. Carry on paying the finance.
This is
enjoy
just
the bike.
if you're mid-transaction process.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've taken finance out on the bike. You haven't got the bike. The agreement is there, and you have to pay monthly on it. Then contact them, because they will stand in the shoes of Superbike Factory. Okay.
Right.
They can't say, well, they've gone bust, your problem tough. You'll go, well, no, because you're jointly liable for the contract that we've agreed. So they will end up in a situation where if you haven't got the goods that you've paid for, they will have to refund you the monies that you should be paying out under the finance agreement. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Really, you want to end it there, because you don't want to pay for a bike you haven't got. So really important, Section 75 claim, go against the finance house. If you haven't got finance on the bike, let's say, for example, you've put a deposit on a bike, you went to go and collect it, but they've shut their doors. So you haven't got the machine, but you've paid the deposit, then go back to the card issuer that you pay the deposit on. Okay, it's not a Section 75 claim, it will be a chargeback. Okay, you've got a time limit to do that. You've got 120 days, 120 days, to go back to your bank issuer and say, look, the transaction hasn't progressed, it's a deposit for a bike, I want my money back. They may be able to trigger a chargeback. Okay.
And does that matter if it's credit or debit card?
No, shouldn't matter of the two. However,
or bank transfer?
You might be at the discretion of your bank. Okay. If it's your bank will have their own policies as to what they do on a chargeback issue. Okay. So contact them, say, I want to undo this transaction, get the money back off Superbike Factory. That way you've got the money back in your bank account. You know, you haven't got the bike, but your deposit's safe. Okay.
And that's called a chargeback claim.
It's a chargeback claim. Yeah.
Okay.
And you go to your bank for that. Okay. Now, the last option, and I'm really sorry to be the bearer of bad news, if you haven't got any of those options, you might find yourself in the insolvency process. And what I mean by that is Superbike Factory are in administration. The administrator's job now is to look at the business, to maybe sell it as a going concern. If they can't do that, they're going to start looking at creditors. They're going to start looking at the debts of the business, the creditors, and they're going to have to then start selling stock. And you will find that you are in that long queue of people that is due money, and you're going to have to wait your turn.
Okay, so if you've got, say, KTM that you've sold to as in Part X for 10 grand, and you're trying to upgrade to a Fireblade for 15 grand.
Yep.
You've now not got your KTM.
Yeah.
And you haven't received your Fireblade yet.
Yeah.
What do you do in that situation?
Right. If the transaction has not completed, and you still own that KTM, my advice to you would be go and get your bike back. Okay.
Right. If you can.
If you can. I mean,
but don't break in.
well, yeah. Well, I mean, don't break in and cause criminal damage, but there's nothing stopping you going to get your property back. Right. And when you look at things like trespass is a civil wrong. So the police shouldn't turn up and go, well, you're trespassing. I mean, you don't want to fall into the realms of burglary, which is illegally entering to go get it right. So my advice would be go through the channels, try and get your machine back, because the transaction hasn't completed. If you're still the legal owner of the KTM, go and get your property back.
What if they've sold it?
If they've sold it, then I'm afraid you fall into that, I call it insolvency process, which is you are now a creditor to that business, okay? Right. They've got 8 grand of your money, which has been converted from a KTM into money. You need to sit and wait for the administrators to wrap the business up, pull in, all of their assets, pay off the debt, and then you're going to be in a queue of people waiting for your money out.
And all the money, I mean, how often does it all come back?
Hardly ever.
Never?
Because you're at the very back of the queue. If you look at HMRC,
so a customer would be behind HMRC at the queue?
Yes, they would. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. The administrator would be able to answer that, but there'll be an order for which they're going to pay money out, and you will be an unsecured creditor of that business. They've got 8 grand of your money. Do I expect you to see any money back? I mean, some administrations, they go, there's no payments to be made out. That's it, full stop. Or you're looking to get pennies back on the pound.
Right.
But that is really your worst case scenario. So if you can get your bike back and it's not been transferred, moved on, try and get your bike back.
Because wasn't there like a car place that some incident happened a couple of years ago?
That's right. GVE in London.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and they had the same problem. I mean, they were slightly different in as much that they were doing sale or return. So they had customers' cars that were there and still belonged to the customer. And they were in the news, actually, because when people got wind of them going into administration, customers were turning up with the spare key going, that's my Lamborghini, I'm going to get it back. The police were called, actually,
right.
Who basically stood to one side to make sure there's no breach of the peace, because there's nothing illegal with you going to get your property back. It belongs to you. As long as you're not causing criminal damage by breaking open gates.
Well, I mean, I suppose if you've got a 300 grand Lambo, a case for trespassing against you or whatever, take the 300 grand Lambo.
Quite. I hopped over a fence. I accept that. I got my car back.
We're not condoning illegal behaviour, by the way.
No.
This is anecdotal.
Also talking about a very real issue, which hopefully a lot of 44 teethers aren't caught up in.
Yeah.
But if you are...
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, well, if you are, hopefully that tidbit of information might give you a steer as to where to go.
Get your bike back as quick as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get your bike back.
Like tonight.
I mean, hopefully a very small percentage of people will fall into that very unlucky window.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's a nefarious. I think the GVE thing, there's other claims and nefarious activity.
There's a criminal prosecution arising out of that, because I think they say the accountant defrauded them of some money, and there'll be a trial on that.
So I don't think this is on that level, and I think it's probably, as you say off camera, it's probably going to rise again as another company, but we don't know. Yeah,
Phoenix companies, so this is closed off and another business appears elsewhere. If that happens, I'll do a follow-up legal piece, actually. Have you got any remedies? What are your rights? I did see some posts, actually, really sad, because, and I really feel for the workers at Superbike Factory.
Absolutely,
because I saw a post where people had said, haven't been paid this month, done the work this month, we've turned up today, the doors are shut, and we've all been sent home. So, really sad. If that's you, I genuinely feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
But for the bikers that are involved in transactions, hopefully you found this advice useful.
Yeah, and if you don't mind me saying, if you are in that incredibly unlucky situation, by all means, send us an email. I'll put a link in the description, and then we can try and help. Because I don't think there's going to be that many people, but there might be 5 or 6.
Yeah, absolutely. And White Dalton do free legal advice. So if you're a biker in that situation, contact the firm. We'll give you a free legal advice, customized to your particular circumstances. Hopefully, if we can steer you clear of this mess, we will. But we'll give you the best advice we possibly can.
Yeah, and in general, I know Superbike Factory has been one of those companies that's had a bit of a rep for a while, let's say. But I think, they were trying to turn it round, I guess. I don't know, I've seen some stuff recently, but regardless of whether you like them or don't like them, it's a massive loss for motorcycling in the UK. And I think until any legal charges or anything's happened, let's just go, look, shit, this is sad. As you say, thoughts are with all the workers and staff. And, we really hope that you guys are okay and sort yourself out.
Had you ever bought a bike from Superbike Factory?
No,
or not?
I was close. We actually, a few years ago, when they did quite a big push for YouTubers and social media stuff, and they did actually reach out at one point, and we were going to do a budget buy battle where we bought all of our bikes from there, but we couldn't. It didn't work out in the end, and whatever.
My understanding of them was that, you weren't allowed to ride the bike, start the bike. You literally bought it off a catalogue or saw it and bought it. But it's a loss to the market, isn't it? If you go bikers in England and Wales, all of a sudden there's another player that's fallen off the map.
Yeah. However, though, I suppose it was because they were selling stuff at very, very cheap prices.
Yeah.
And when you've got your big, your big conglomerates instead of your independents on the high street, it is a race to lower prices because the volumes they do are so high. And obviously the finance on that's really probably what their biggest margins were. It wasn't on the bike, it was on selling the finance. I presume, don't know.
No, I think you're right on that, actually. So my comments about Section 75 claims or chargeback might actually help the bikers. If that's something you need to explore, go and do it. Absolutely. Yeah. There was a place in the market for them. I definitely think that because you talk about the conglomerates. Actually, cheap bikes delivered quickly, that was good for biking as a whole, and good for us bikers. So it's a sad loss to
but tougher for independent bike shops who are genuinely got, customers' interest at heart. I'm not saying they didn't, but, it is one-man bands doing it out of warehouses and stuff and really trying to provide a good, good surface. So, I suppose there's going to be a lot of motorbikes knocking around soon. I mean, what stock levels? I mean, they had, 6 sites, UK? Maybe 7?
Yeah, and big sites at that. It reminds me of... who was that guy that had the illegal collection of
the athlete Olympic guy?
That's right, yeah.
Who got busted.
Yeah.
He got found in the end.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
Don't know about the bikes.
It's like, who knows? He could add to his collection. But hopefully those bikes end up back on the market. It might benefit independents, if there's going to be an auction.
Well, I think the liquidator he'll put those bikes out to the market. Yeah. So, who knows? There may be some good things. But thoughts are with all the workers, and it's a sad day, ultimately, however you look at it. We hope that this has helped a little bit if you're in that situation, if you've got current dealings with them. Again, link in the description, speak to Gav, and we'll try our best to help you out. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Chris. Bye.
Thanks, mate.